Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got a Gv70 EV electric. Customer complained there's a high voltage EV warning light. So that at the bottom of the cluster, the car with the exclamation. So I scanned for codes. I got a code for a motor electric oil pump motor current high. Earlier it was on history, so I just save all the data that I need just in case I have to review it or send it to the head office. And then I cleared it after I did some updates for this vehicle, and this one is inactive now. So I just double check when I open the hood. I remove that luggage compartment there on that underneath the hood. Just do some visual inspection. So for nothing is out of ordinary there. But it's showing here that our electric oil pump, it will trigger that code if there's no RPM or there's nothing in there. So I just went here on our data. The very bottom of the data, I can see our electric oil pump. Actual speed is 0. Commanded is 0. So actual speed, commanded, is all 0 RPM there. So if I'm gonna put in drive, so also we can compare this because this model has two motors, front and rear. So we can go to the rear side. Let's see if it's just ignition on or engine, not engine, or vehicle on, right? EV ready. If we can see that data, or do we need to drive it to make that oil pump work? But since it's running for me, it should work to circulate the oil. But anyway, so this is the rear motor data. Let's see if we have some RPM there. Okay, EOP actual speed 0, commanded 0. Okay, same thing as on the rear. If I'm gonna go reverse, okay, commanded is showing now when I'm moving, right? So let me graph that. You can see that our graph is going up. What we can do is, since this scan tool can do multiple modules, let's do that. Let's compare those data. Let me just remove this because I did a full system scan on this. This model has 53 modules. Imagine that. It's a lot. Okay, so front and rear motors there for data. And I'm just concerned about the electric oil pump. Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way at the bottom. Let's do the electric oil pump actual speed and the what's that speed command, and then we go to the rear. So the oil pump on this one on the front is underneath at the back, so near the firewall. So when I was just doing my my visual inspection, I was just checking the front one. So I need to lift this vehicle up and just see what we have in there. Okay, so all of them are 0. So the top 2 is the front, the bottom 2 is the rear. So I'm gonna go forward now and drive. So we can see on our rear motor, there's a pump going on. The command is saying, okay, go move the pump, and the actual speed is moving. On the front, nothing is happening. So I don't know if something is unplugged there. Could be. So let's, at least we can see now there's really a fault there. Well, the code is active, so it's really at fault right now. Um, I'm gonna lift the vehicle up and then let's check underneath what's going on there. Okay, so we remove our undercover on this side here. Our electric oil pump is this guy. Let me put my light here on top first. So this, what's going on here? What? No magnet? Why? Doesn't magnet my light? Okay, that's anyway. What? Why? I need a light. Okay. So our oil pump is this guy. I don't know if this is unplugged. Looks like it's tight though. Looks like that's tight. Can I remove? Okay. Let me remove the connector first and inspect the front one. Okay, so I was able to remove our connector. Um, so far that's good there. And on the component side, I see that it's also good there, right? So what we're gonna do next is, um, let's go to my wiring diagram. So here's our electric oil pump. So we got two fuses there, EOP 40 amp and 10 amp, right? Where's this EP11? Oh, so that's in the junction block there. So this is hot at all times here, right? And this one is hot in ignition, and we can lean communication. So since this wire here is hot at all times, we can do some testing right now, and then later we can check our communication here, and also this IG3 input. Okay, so red and black. Red is the power, black is the ground. So I got my headlamp here. I'm just gonna put the power first here. Okay. And next is our ground. Headlight is working. So that circuit there is working. So I'm gonna install this back. I'm just gonna back probe that. And then, okay, before I put that in, I'm gonna put the back probe pins and put it on. And then we can check our ignition on and the lean communication there. Okay, so here's our back probe. One ground, one power there on the other side, the ignition tree, and the lean. So I connected our power. So far we have power there, showing 15 volts, right? Now if I'm gonna swap it with our, for our lean connection, our communication, let me just plug this in. So we got lean there. Okay, now let me just adjust the time. Oops, it's too much. So we got their communication there. And then when I want check our data, after we unplug that and check the command speed and the actual speed for the oil pump, and I get the reading on our scan tool. So it could be that we got a poor connection on this connector. So let me just, okay, let me remove all this stuff. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna unplug this again and maybe apply some contact enhancer just to make sure, and that should be it. Okay, so I remove our connector. I'm using our Sabilan 22A contact enhancer. So just apply some on the female pin there, because I don't see any issue unless it worked because we back probe the connection. That could be possibility, but so I applied there. I don't see any spread terminals. That should be okay. And then we're gonna clear the code, and then we're gonna go for a test drive just to make sure. And yeah. Alright, guys. So we're outside right now. We're gonna go for a drive. So far, our readings here are all turning on. So let's see if this will not fail. But we know our power ground there, it's present, even the link communication, right? So let's see. So we still have that reading there for our actual speed and our front motor. And let's just see if maybe the road can cause that poor contact there. We'll never know. But yeah, we just unplugged that. And so far, okay, so it just went to 0 right now, our front. And why do I don't have a warning light there? But how come that's 0? I'm on drive. Unless this is a rear. Oh yeah, I think these EVs are rear wheel base, so it will just turn on when you need that 4-wheel. Okay, so far that's on there. Our speeds. Let's see if something will trigger on this one while driving. Okay, check electric vehicle system. I just got the warning light right now, and we got 0 RPM on our front. I'm gonna go forward from stop. Yeah, it's staying 0 there, and that should run the oil pump. So what do we have? Do we have a poor contact, or is it just the oil pump that's gone? But what we did earlier was we just back probe that, check our link communication, power and ground, and maybe the oil pump is failing, and And we know that all those signals that we check are all present, but yeah, it just fails right now. And I don't think it's the poor contact, because that connector is tight. Unless we get an issue with um, what do you call that? With maybe a wire or any wire there in the circuit that's not connected properly somewhere. We're not sure yet, because I think the best way here is to monitor all the circuit when it fails, right? Should we do that or just call the oil pump? um, I would like to do that. Yeah, I think let's just do that to make sure that our circuit is good before we condemn that oil pump. Or maybe I'm lazy, I will not do that. Let's see. Let me go back to the shop and see how busy we are. um, yeah, I would like to connect all those connection there and see, just to make sure that nothing drops out um, when this problem happens. Because let's say the power or the ground drops out, for sure it will cause that issue, or even our link communication. Um, so yeah, let me go back to the shop and maybe hook up the scopes. Okay, guys, so I hook up my scope. This is too much bright. That's okay. So our blue trace, that's gonna be our hot all times power. Red will be our ground. Green will be our ignition on power. And the last one, I think this is our um, lean communication. Let's just double check. I'm not sure. So it's just only 4 wires, so that should be easy. I'm just gonna do the ignition on first. Okay, let me adjust the time. I guess that's too fast. Okay, so um, number or the yellow trace will be our, that's power. Okay, so let me start this. Okay, am I connected? Let's just double check. Oh man, my C is not connected. Okay, let me let me fix that first. Okay, so I think all our connection is good now. It shows green here. Our green trace, that's how much voltage is that? 11. Let me see, 11 volts. Okay, let's start this vehicle. Okay, so green is our lean communication. As you can see there, there's some activities there. Now we're just gonna drive this. Oh, why this turning on and off? Okay, good. Okay, let's go drive this and see if we can. And then while my scan tool is connected too. So, okay, so I'm just gonna drive around here in the building, and I can see already that we have a warning light on our um, EV there, on our cluster, and our speed here on our front oil pump is not working. But on our data reading here on the scope, it's all present. So our blue trace, that's the power, it's still blue. Oh, it's still blue. It's still at, I think that's around 14 volts. Let me just double check that. 14? Is it 14? Yeah, 14, right? 13.8. Our other ignition power, it's around 13.82. And we still have communication line. But every time I drive, you see that it's all messy. The, what do you call that? The waveform, right? Let's check this first, okay? Let me try to look for a parking and do an ignition on. Let's see here first. And you can see that waveform is all ugly there. So I think I'm confident enough that this is an oil pump issue. Okay, I think this is a good parking here. It's still empty. Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right. See that? It's all clean when not moving, but every time I move, you see that? So I'm gonna do shut off first. Let's just turn it off. Okay. Do ignition on first. Ignition on there. So link communication is still there. Now I'm gonna start the vehicle. Okay. Still okay there. Now we're gonna try to move it and see if we have the RPM going on there, our speed. Yeah, there's an RPM there, but our waveform starts doing something there. So let's see if it will fail again, because earlier it failed. Just driving around here. At least all our signal are all present, which is a good thing, right? Nothing drops out in there. Okay, I just stopped our capture. Let's just quickly check this guy here. Let me maximize here. So we have our communication there. And let's see where it failed. I was telling you guys that it failed. Okay, so this is the time that it was having a warning message there on our cluster. Yeah, so our ground is still on ground. I know it's kind of noisy there. Maybe that's because of the oil pump too. So we're not missing any ground there. I'll get some voltages reading there. So the yellow is our ignition 3. That's the when you turn on the ignition. Our blue is our hot at all times, strip 13.8. And our link communication, for me, that's good. So that's from 12.8 to almost ground, 5.7 millivolts, some at 800 millivolts. So yeah, looks like this guy needs an oil pump. I'm gonna recommend for that because we're not missing anything on our circuit when the problem happens, right? So yeah, we'll see on the part when it comes in, and then let's do repair.